Right, I think we can start. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Athens Institute for Education and Research, Atiner for short, I'd like to welcome you to this Conference of Education. My name is George Poulos and I'm Vice President of Research. Atiner was established in 1995 and its mission is to act as a forum where academics and researchers from all over the world can come together to this historic cradle of democracy, Athens, in order to exchange ideas on their research, to interact with each other, and to discuss future developments in their disciplines. Basic activities of Atiner include the organizing and hosting of international conferences, such as this one, as well as symposiums, the carrying out of research, and the production of various publications. And since 1995, Atiner has organized more than 200 international conferences and other events, and has published close to 150 books. Atiner has also organized numerous roundtable discussions and public speeches on topical issues. The Institute is also currently involved in an ambitious project regarding the proposed establishment of an academic village. The aim is to establish a community of research scholars and academics, and the proposed village will include a conference center, living facilities, as well as facilities for research and recreation. You'll find more information on this in the green paper in your file. Turning to today's activities, you should each have a program by now, and you'll note, of course, that there are parallel sessions, and you will, of course, choose which sessions to go to. We're in room B at the moment, remember well, is that correct? The room next to me, I think that's room A, and room C on the left, and room D is on the 10th floor, for those of you who wish to go to the higher education parallel session. Please note, and this is important, that each presentation is limited to 15 minutes. The chairpersons will keep time and will use 3 and 1 minute reminder cards. I'd like to ask the chairs to adhere strictly to the time constraints. Please allow for questions and discussion after all the papers have been submitted and presented, and not after each paper. The chairpersons must also fill out the report forms that they will be receiving. This is important because the final program will be based on the chairperson's reports. Should you need to make use of technical facilities in your presentation, please confirm that everything is in order before the session begins. There will be someone from the admin staff to help you in this regard. And there will also be a coffee break between sessions. You should also consult the social program, which is read in colour in your file. The Greek night tonight is to be recommended. Apart from Greek cuisine, there'll be lots of Greek music and dancing, and you can even join in if you like. Then, of course, there is the urban walk tomorrow. The person in charge of the urban walk is Dr. Gregory Katsas, who we'll meet tomorrow. And then follows the cruise to selected islands and the visit to the ancient site of Delphi. Right, on the issue of publications, the Institute is involved with various publications. Firstly, there are the abstracts, which are published. Secondly, the papers that are presented at this conference are placed on the web as part of an online paper series soon after the conference, and these have their own ISS number. They are not peer-reviewed, but they can, of course, be cited. If you do not wish to have your paper on the site at this stage, you can inform us. The purpose of this publication series is to firstly disseminate information in your paper as quickly as possible, and secondly to allow for feedback in case you wish to make amendments before submitting your paper for publication in a book. With regard to book publications, you'll receive an email soon after the conference asking you for a final draft for publication consideration and any other information that may be relevant. All papers that are submitted will go through a referee process before they'll be considered for publication in a book. Finally, Atiner now also has its own journal series, which includes papers which are considered to be outstanding in content and which are selected and peer-reviewed by an editorial board. On the issue of collaboration, We at Atiner would also like to collaborate with other institutions, academics, researchers and institutes are invited to collaborate with our institute on research and education projects. And if you're not yet a member of the institute, we would like you to join and to assist with reviewing and editing of papers. Part of our vision is to organize visiting fellowships as well, and we're now in the process of discussing this. Finally, academic colleagues, as is clear from the program, you've come from so many different countries, and we at Atiner sincerely hope that you'll make the most of this opportunity to interact with each other, that you'll enjoy the conference, and that you'll go back home with fond memories, and most of all, that you'll want to come back to future conferences. Enjoy the conference, and thank you very much for being here. And I'd like to pass on to the podium on to Dr. Gregory Manikos, our president. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Welcome to Athens for this 16th annual International Conference on Education. Actually, this was our first conference of the entire institute 16 years ago. And the way that we grow in handling events and conferences is when a conference grows large enough, we chop it. But no matter how many chops we do for this conference, it keeps on growing. So we have to think otherwise. For example, a big chop was the conference on languages. Now this conference has about 150 papers separate. Another big chunk was the conference on teaching math and statistics. This conference now has more than 50 papers. Can you imagine if we had all this together? We cannot find a hotel in Athens to host it. And listen to what I'm saying because it's very important. Sorry. Now, I like to explain a few things about the institute. I'm doing that when I'm teaching. When someone else talks, I stop. And I think they get the message. Now, it is very important to listen to what we have to say because nobody reads our voices, which is very common. And then they come here and they argue as if they have read the comments and the voices. So it's very important to understand how we work. First, we're not an institute to start with. We're an association of world academics based in Athens. So second, we are not a Greek institute. It's like a United Nations based in New York. So we have more than 600 members coming from more than 50 countries. Only in this conference, we have 150 papers coming from 50 different countries. So it shows something. And it serves very well our mission. One of the criteria of accepting you to come here and present for 15 minutes is your country of origin. If we have someone that never appeared to one of the 50 conferences that we organize per year, then we accept him or her for 15 minutes, as long as he or she is an academic. So this is important to understand the separation between presentation and publication. We give you 15 minutes to impress the world. The best presentation is to come here, say who you are, say what you are doing as a research or as a teaching, and then leave. Now, the presentation, the paper that you make, we allow that just because it's the only way that you get money from your university. Otherwise, we don't need your ideas so much in the paper as we need the ideas as participants to this conference. So I'd like to make clear that as well. Because if you don't know what are the rules of the game, then you might not be able to maximize, since I'm an economist, the benefits from this conference. As an association with the name of an institute, it permits us to collaborate, as Professor Poulos said. So we can sign agreements with other institutes or universities if that fits the needs of our members. So this is important. So you can become a member and determine the rules and the policies of the game. Now, we never invite keynote speakers. If you have me, why you need anybody else? So, you see? And I reverse that. If I have you, why I need a keynote speaker? There is another reason why we don't invite keynote speakers. Very important. We don't have money to support them. And there is another secondary reason. Usually when you have a conference with a keynote speaker, everybody goes for the keynote speaker, then they leave. So this is the reason. But the first is the most important. They are too expensive, the keynote speakers. Now, they made some notes here about the chairs. Chairs are very important for us. Now, in terms of the internationality, as you can understand, not all people speak English as their mother tongue. English is, for us, is just an instrument, nothing else. We don't accept whatever connotation might be implied, political, social, cultural, by the use of English language. Furthermore, we don't care about the accent of your English. The best accent is my accent. If you cannot imitate my accent, you have failure. Of course, I hate British, American, whatever accents that create problems because nobody understands them. You see, Professor Fulow's South African accent is again very heavy, I think. I don't know if you understood, but you understand my accent. So please, this is the reason why we have the chairs, asking them not to ask questions, keep the time, and leave the questions at the end. Because some people, they tremble when you come here if you ask them a question in English. Now, from the other point, if your English is not your first language, then, and you don't understand the question, be sure it's the person that asked the question that is fault. So say, I don't understand your English, you can go outside later on and we can discuss it. The reason I'm saying that is because I want to make it a memorable experience. I don't want people failing when they present. You understand? If you think that if you don't speak a second language, come and speak Greek here, even from a note, and then I'll ask questions in Greek, and you will understand the difficulty of the matter. So we have to be, especially the chairs, they don't ask questions, they leave questions at the end, they don't comment on the papers, they are timekeepers. If, for whatever reason, you cannot chair according to our rules, because you have an internal tendency to never stop talking, please ask me or Vasilis over there to change it. And having said that, go to Vasilis, please ask him if you want to volunteer for chairs, especially if we have a country that is not represented. Now about the program, we change the program all the time. I like to create messes. So we change the program, chairs, we reshuffle the papers. 90% is not our fault, 10% is our fault. For example, we have a change because a flight, people coming from different countries, and we want, because they want the money from the university, they must appear in the program. So we do changes throughout the 2 days. Something else that we do, we usually go out on time. We start and finish a little bit earlier. Since we reshuffle the program, it is important that you are there, because the last session might start a little bit earlier. But there is another reason why you should be around. The purpose of this association is to bring people together from different countries. If you come here, present for 15 minutes and leave, we don't like you to start with, because you miss the entire point of this conference. So please stay in and try to speak to each other throughout the conference with good questions and comments, and especially for the young generation of scholars, because they have the long time in front of them, academic time. It is good if this is your first conference, to see people that do education, studies from many different countries, and I don't think in your life you will have such an experience, even if you go to big, larger conference. So please stay in. Now, they told me to say something about the Athens Journal of Education. This is very important. Now, Professor Poulos said something about publication. This year, we have started a series of e-journals. We do a good job in organizing conferences. We don't do a good job in publishing. And we do need your help. Now, we have 4 types of publication. The abstract book, that some people, some institutions, they consider it as a publication. I don't know why. It's nothing. It's like a summary of what we presented here, nothing else. Second, there is the Athens paper series, which again is nothing for the time being, because we're going to start reviewing those papers. We're not going to upload like that. And a good paper, for me at least, is a paper that it starts with a question or the purpose of the study, just for the young generation. It says the purpose of the study is this. And because they have 5 pages introduction, the reviewer starts to find out what we are doing. So the first sentence should be what we are doing. There should be a literature review in English. There should be a methodology, the way that we try to answer the question. You use the methodology to answer the question, because some people, they have 5 pages of methodology, they never use it. And then you apply the methodology and you find some conclusions. For me, this is a good paper, as long as it has some standards of applying the methodology. Now I need your help for the Athens Journal of Education. We started this year, and we have, just think about it. Overall, we have 500 papers to pick for this journal, and we're going to pick 50. It's 10%. We continue with the book. And I do need your help if you want, and of course your name will appear with golden letters under the Parthenon that you are reviewing this Athens Journal of Education. Please, if you want to help us, go and give your business card. I'll take personal care of that, because I think it's our little baby and it has to grow. Leave your business card outside the reception and say, I like to help with editing, with reviewing. We do need help for that. We do need some conference. I know they force the participants to review 2 papers, but I don't want to do that because I want to select the reviewers. Those that they have good experience on that, we do need to make this journal one of the good journals in the world. I don't want to say yes, but good, yes. Now, this red piece of information is the most important contract that we sign. Please follow the rules. I don't want to say more because I'm getting tired. But this is very important. It's not a la carte, means that you cannot order anything to our event. So we're going to pump it. We're going to order for you. We have pre-orders for you. This is very important to follow. There's a good reason for that. I'm not going to explain. Now, what else I have to say? The Urban Walk, they told me it's fully booked. So you cannot book for the Urban Walk. I don't know if someone cancels it, so I said about the chairs. The program will change, I said. If you go outside Athens, you will see a lot of people shouting mainly. It's not a demonstration. We see a lot of little kiosks there. We have European elections. For those that are not from Europe, we have elections this coming Sunday. Actually, yesterday we had elections for regional prefecture, whatever we call it, and city for mayor. And this coming Sunday we have elections for the European Parliament. So this is the reason why we see something going on outside. Now I do think that this is all I have to say. Now we have to move, but before I'll give, we have to move for room D, which is upstairs. So we need about 5 minutes for the higher education session. Professor Makedon from Philippines, which is a great name, as they say in the movie, everything is great. Is there any questions that you want to get? You asking me about the England? I don't know. You have to ask. This is a very good question. I don't really know. Now, if you want to ask a question like that, the worst person to ask is me. But it is a very good example. Anything that has with the administration, we have people outside, and they might be able to help you. If they are not able to help you, we're going to fire them. Now, Professor Makedon.
Hello everyone, my name is Alexander Makedon, so my name. Welcome to Athens. Kalos ήρθατε, and I enjoyed reading your papers. I'm very proud of your work and organizing them into things that you see. So I'm glad to see you all here. Welcome, enjoy the conference. Thank you.
Bravo, Alex. Alex is from Sparta, he's very laconic. Now we're going to move further. You know the program. You choose, and in 1, 2, 3, 5 minutes we're going to start the session. Okay? Thank you very much. You're here.
And I will have a chance to speak to I like that because now I can take a president of
That's why I mentioned that you have an institute, an association.
everyone
Just a little. How are you, Professor? Don't take me away, because I have to go somewhere, that's why. Tell me.